Here's what you missed on Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.
My Country 96.1, Phathead, Cande Roth. Big news. My parents, and by the way, I say this with all compassion for everyone who had their appointments made and then canceled, and there's been a big to-do with websites that canceled people, and there's a lot, it's hard to get that vaccine. But my parents, who live in Queens, got their vaccines yesterday, Cande.
Now, I want to hear all about it. How long did they have to wait? Were they taken right in? Did it meet, they had an appointment? Was it on time? Go.
Okay, so I'm not going to draw this out, but I got to start at the beginning, because they say when you first sign up for the appointment, there's a lot of paperwork you need, it's computer paperwork, but you got to fill it out online. There's a lot of stuff you need to fill out.
Oh, okay.
And I made the analogy to them because they said when we get to the vaccination, it was actually pretty quick, but I kind of made the analogy. I said, it's almost like making a fine meal. You got to buy the ingredients, you got to make the dish. It takes you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and then it takes you about 5 minutes to eat the meal. Cande. So there was a lot of prep work. They said it took them 45 minutes to an hour on the computer signing up. And then when they woke up yesterday morning, they woke up to emails with more stuff that they had to fill out, Cande.
Interesting. Okay. So at least they were on top of it, not your parents, but the vaccination place.
Well, then they get to the place and they see a line, and it's not a huge line, but it's a line of about 30, 40 people. But they go up to someone and they say, what's the line for? And they said, oh, no, if you have an appointment, these people are here well before their appointment, or they don't have an appointment. They're just trying to get in or get in early.
I didn't know you could do that.
Well, it was like someone might have had an appointment for 3 p.m. but got there early, figuring maybe they'd be taken or something. But my parents got there 5 minutes before the appointment because it was at a high school, my high school that I went to. Cande.
Look at that. Is there a statue of you there?
There should be. If there isn't, I'll tell you that. So they get there. They say, we have an appointment at this time. They say, oh, just go right over here. Then there was more paperwork to fill out, Cande. So they had questions to get through and some things. They said it took them a little bit of time. So I'm going to read you. My father texted bullet points. Okay.
He's so funny.
Yeah. And by the way, my mother FaceTimed yesterday. She gave me like the 20-minute whole lowdown on everything that happened. And that's what she was describing, all the paperwork and how they showed up and there was a line and all this stuff. Okay. So first of all, it was Moderna. That's the vaccine they got.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what's good, what's bad. If you want one.
I think there's 2 right now that are available, and that's one of them.
So my father said it felt like he was in a polling place getting ready to vote. He said the main people there running the operation were efficient enough, which I guess means that they were okay. Mm-hmm. There were helpers and different assistants that shuffled around. He said the old high school was kind of depressing because it's run down and not very great. He said there was duplication questions because, this is what my mother said. Because when you're online, you have to fill out the New York City questionnaires. When you get there, you have to fill out paperwork for New York State. So it's the same paperwork almost. One's for the city, one's for the state.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
It's almost like doing 2 sets of taxes.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
State and federal. Anyway, they do that. He said it took them 10 minutes to drive there, to park and everything. They sat in the car for 10 minutes, 15 minutes to process, for them to process and get you ready. And then they got the shot. And then they put them in another little space and they make them sit. My father says 15 minutes sitting to make sure you don't foam at the mouth.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, did the shot hurt? Is it painful today? Did they have any side effects?
Well, I don't know if it's painful today. That's we'll have to find out. I can get that answer today. But he said it just felt like anything, like a regular old shot, like a flu shot, like anything.
All right. So they sat for 15 minutes. They said, well, you two don't seem to be collapsing. You can leave now.
Yes. I'm not sure if my mother yelled at anyone. She's great at yelling at managers and
stuff.
stuff.
I know. I wanted that info.
But I think all went okay. And then they booked their second appointment, Cande.
Now, that's in 3 weeks?
Well, theirs happens to be February 20th, so it's about 4 weeks.
I got it. Okay.
So they're going to go do that. My father also said it was better than he had planned on.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he also said he didn't know if it would be too crowded at the high school and he'd need extra parking. He said he didn't need to go to his backup parking space across the street at the gas station. He was able to find parking at the high school. And he says he's very happy. They were fine. They're good, and step 1 is done, Cande. So, yeah, they had a good experience. I'm happy to...
I'm happy they got the shot, because you're hearing all these stories about people who haven't been able to get it, whatever, They got it. Lovely. So happy to hear it firsthand.
So hopefully that'll translate to Long Island. Again, this is Queens. This is over in Rockaway. They obviously have a better handle on things than what's going on with a lot of the cancellations out here, Cande, and some of the things. But hopefully it changes for everyone and we get moving on this thing. My Country 96.1.
Phathead and Cande in the morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.